Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to Northern Burlington County Regional High School. I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcast students Mr. Kyle Forsini and Mr. Decamara. We are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds varsity lacrosse team takes on the RV Red Devils in a great local matchup. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, Mr. Dowd, thanks. We just did a great volleyball game in which the Hounds defeated RV, and now we get a chance to watch our lacrosse team take on Rancocas Valley once again, so hopefully we can have a similar result here today.
Yeah, maybe we can get the one-day sweep with two sports, trying to see if boys lacrosse can continue on the momentum that volleyball just built, and hopefully get two games for one against RV today.
That's right, Decker, and this, as you guys said, is the second game of our sports doubleheader today here at the farm. Came off a very exciting win. In 3 sets, the boys varsity volleyball team defeated RV, and anytime these two schools play, you know it's going to be a tough matchup, and both teams are going to look to get a big win.
Yeah, for sure. This is a local rivalry matchup. Like you had said, Mr. Dowd, anything kind of goes in these games. Your adrenaline's always running high, and sometimes you make mistakes when you're not meaning to, and other times you have exceptional games. So it'll be interesting to see what the Hounds are able to do here today.
It looks like that one's going to be, I think, a foul call on RV for kind of getting on top of one of Northern's players and taking them down. But Northern's offense so far this year has been exceptional, and I think that's what they're looking for, is just to keep up the momentum they've built already and try to just keep scoring as many as they can, because they've been on fire offensively so far.
That's right, Decker, and Northern is led by head coach Mr. Chris Kelleher, and he's joined by his assistant coach Mr. Dave Rogers, and the team is coming off a really successful season last year where they were 13-8 and had a state playoff appearance. The RV Red Devils are led by head coach Mr. Dave Haggerty and his assistants Kevin Higgins and Nick de Blasio. Now, RV was 10-10 last year, but they played Northern really tough. They played a couple of games, and they were 1-1 versus Northern, and both games were 1-goal games. So both at the farm and at RV, you know, these two teams know each other pretty well. RV's coming into this one. They're actually playing really well this season. They're currently 2-1. And they are scoring about 14 goals a game, and they're giving up about 9. So I expect this one to be a shootout.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Dowd. Has a great shot there by Dean Heminghaus for the Hounds. Is able to put them on the board and give them a 1-0 lead. Like you had said, could very well be a shootout, Mr. Dowd, and the Hounds getting off to a quick start early.
Yeah, coming into this game, I believe Dean Heminghaus was the Hounds' leading goal scorer this year. Yeah, he's got 16 already coming into this game, and that makes that another one for him. So 17 on the year and only a few games so far, and he's really been the offensive firepower that's led the Northern charge, and he's doing that again today.
Northern is currently 4-2 on the season. They are scoring about 11 goals per game, and they're giving up about 6. They've had some big wins this year versus teams like Cherry Hill West, Delran, New Egypt, and Cinnaminson, and they've lost a couple of tough ones versus East Brunswick and Eastern. But as I said, no matter what the records are, these two teams always play each other tough, and Heminghaus has already got Northern on the board in what should be a great matchup.
Yeah, and that's what you want for one of your senior leaders, Mr. Dowd. You got Dean Heminghaus, who's a guy that I'm sure a lot of this team looks up to, and when you score a goal against one of your arch rivals this early in a game, it can really set the pace for what's going to happen for the remainder of the first half and for the remainder of hopefully the game.
Yeah, it's always nice to get that first goal out of the way only a couple minutes in. It warms the whole team up and gets the game going. So Dean Heminghaus on the board already. It's a 1-0 lead for Northern just a few minutes into this really good match so far.
And as you said, Decker, Heminghaus leads the team in goals this season, just put up his 17th on the year, and Northern actually gets some really tremendous play from Justin Ruffenach as well. He has 11 goals on the season. The Red Devils are led by Dan Myers, who's got 13 goals on the season, so I expect all those guys to get on the board. Obviously, Heminghaus has already gotten on today, but it should be a great game, and we've already got a goal early in this first quarter.
Yeah, and hopefully Northern senior goalie Hayden Lyon can do his part and trying his hardest to make sure that RV stays off the board. Really, RV hasn't had very many chances so far. Northern's been the aggressors for most of this first half. It will be interesting to see if they're able to keep up that pace here.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the story of the season for Hayden Lyon in goal, is he really hasn't been shot on all that much because Northern's only given up about 6 goals per game. so he hasn't really faced a whole ton of shots so far this season, and that's kind of what you're looking for. You want your goalie not to have to face a whole lot, keep him ready for later in the year when you have to play tougher opponents and have to make the run to the state playoffs probably, I would assume, because that's just building from what Northern did last year.
Yeah, and the Hounds, as I said, had a really good season last year. They won 13 games, finished 5 games over 500, and they actually had a state tournament victory as well, and were one of the top teams in the BCSL. So if they can build on last season's success, they can hopefully make another run, and who knows how far this team can go. We've seen some tremendous play so far this season, and I know Coach Kelleher is looking to surpass his success from last year.
Yeah, the boys lacrosse team, as you guys have both alluded to, had an extremely successful season last year, and now already off to a 4-2 start this year, kind of picking up right where they left off, which is an encouraging sight for the program. RV is kind of getting their first opportunity here on offense, but Northern's stiffening up there as they've gotten the ball towards the crease.
Yeah, and the Hounds actually had 2 separate winning streaks last year, 2 separate 3-game winning streaks, and they were led by last season's senior leader, Kyle Matthews, who led the squad with 43 goals, and Tom Breslin was a consistent point producer as well with 41 goals and 33 assists. But it looks like Heminghaus and Ruffenach have picked up where those guys left off, and hopefully can help guide the Hounds to a division title, and who knows how far the team can go. It looks like we've got some really aggressive play going on so far as that one sails out of bounds.
Yeah, it's also very interesting to see what seniors are the ones that are going to be able to stand out when they become the oldest statesmen on the team, and they're the ones who kind of lead the charge for this team. And like you had alluded to, Mr. Dowd, seniors like Hayden Lyon, who's the goalie, and Dean Heminghaus and Justin Ruffenach, who have been aggressors on offense. They've really kind of picked up where Matthews left off last year, and now they're guiding this young team.
Yeah, another spot that Northern really has to pick up on from last year is Kyle Matthews was terrific. He was a terrific face-off man for Northern, and he won like historic numbers for Northern in the last few years on face-offs. But this year they're replacing him with Luca Clenzaris, who is also a senior and is trying to be able to build off the success Matthews had last year from the face-offs. He struggled a little bit more so far this season, but that's kind of a learning role when you take over that job, especially in your senior year.
Absolutely, Decker, and we are still so very early in the season. As I stated, Northern is currently 4-2 on the year, and there's still a lot of lacrosse left to play on the season, and obviously a lot of lacrosse left to play in this one. Northern currently in the lead 1-0. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forsini, Mr. Decker Morrow. We are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the RV Red Devils.
Good shot attempt on goal there by the Hounds, and it just sails wide a little bit. The Hounds are able to maintain possession, though, as I've said multiple times, which they've done a lot in this first half. Really, RV's only had maybe one realistic scoring opportunity, and the Hounds were able to shut that down. But so far, the Hounds have been the aggressors. That's what you want to see. There's another great shot attempt on goal, but a great block there by RV. Little scrum for the ball there, but RV is able to maintain it, and they'll get the possession back.
Yeah, this Northern offense is making it easy for Hayden Lyon and the Northern defense, as they really haven't had to see the ball in their half that much until right about now, as I'm saying this. But Northern's offense has just been fantastic to start this game. They've only scored once, but they've built a ton of pressure and have made it tough for RV to play defensively.
And as we've said, this is going to be a really feisty game. Northern currently in the lead 1-0, so I'm sure Coach Kelleher likes the aggression. And obviously, Coach Higgins on RV, I'm sure, likes the fact that his team is hanging with Northern. And it looks like they're going to get another shot attempt there, and that was going to just sail wide there at the goal.
Yeah, another great shot attempt by Northern, and if they keep getting opportunities like that, they're eventually going to fall. So I'd look for them to keep trying to get good shots. Looked like Northern had a little bit of an advantage there running down the court. Didn't look like RV had all of its men back. But the Hounds did some pretty nice passing and got the open shot on net, but were just unable to connect. Still up 1-0 though here in this first half.
Yeah, and in the end, that's all that really matters. Northern's got the lead right now, and another good shot attempt, but that one just doesn't go in. It sails a little bit off to the left. But so far, Northern's pressure has just been undeniable, as they've gotten, I think, at least 5 or 6 shots off in the opening minutes of this match.
And we've got a really exciting spring sports season here at the farm. Obviously, boys lacrosse playing right now. We just came off an exciting boys volleyball game, but we've also got some really exciting teams playing, coming off some really successful seasons. Last year, Kyle, as a member of the baseball team, you know the team played pretty well, 12-10, got to the state tournament. The boys tennis team finished 10-8. Golf team struggled a little bit at 5-12, but they're playing really well so far this season. Spring track team competitive in all their meets, and girls lacrosse actually were 8-8 last year, and they advanced to the state tournament. And as we said, the boys lacrosse team had a really successful year as well. So all those teams looking to build on their success from last season, looking to make some state tournament runs, and hopefully we can be on hand here at Northern TV to provide excellent programming for our community as we continue the proud tradition of Northern sports here at the farm.
Yeah, like you had said, Mr. Dowd, all spring sports teams this year are trying to build off of their success last year, and that's kind of carried over through every sports season this year. Both fall and winter sports had very successful years, and now coming back into the beginning here of this spring season, it's important for all these teams to try and get off to quick starts and build off of the success that they had last year.
Yeah, as a whole, this might be one of the best sports years that we can remember at Northern in the last 5 or 6. We've had pretty much every team be competitive. Even some of the less competitive teams got to 500 this year, but everybody's been really competitive, really fighting, really trying to get to the state playoffs, and we've seen most of the teams get there.
And speaking of the winter sports season, as we stated, just to wrap up some of those successes, the boys bowling team was 7-13, girls bowling was 8-12, highly competitive. Swim team struggled a little bit, but got a big win versus Holy Cross as they finished their season 4-8. The winter track team had some great competition and were highly competitive in all their meets. Girls basketball was 13-13. They advanced to the state tournament, and they actually hosted a playoff game for the first time in 4 years. The wrestling team was 9-11, finishing second in the BCSL, but they had 3 District 22 champs in Ellery Perfect, Billy Nolan, and Chris Ratty. And the boys basketball team had a tremendous season, winning the BCSL for the first time in 45 years, and got to the state tournament as well. And Josh Jackson, our senior guard, reached a milestone, scoring over his 1,000th point. So great season as the winter wrapped up, and tremendous spring sports season underway here at the farm. As we stated, we're coming off this is the second game of our doubleheader. We're coming off a big boys varsity volleyball win earlier in the day, and the Greyhounds lacrosse team looks to hopefully get a big win in front of our home crowd.
Another good opportunity here on goal for Northern. Looks like a penalty is going to be called here. Still up 1-0 though here in this first half, and the story's kind of been the same the entire game. Northern being the aggressors that we had touched on earlier. If you're RV, you really got to try and figure out something to get your offense going, because you can't be playing defense this whole game and expect to come out on top.
Yeah, Kyle, this game reminds me a lot of the opening half of that girls' field hockey game we did earlier this year, in which Northern offensively was just able to control the whole game, and they didn't score a whole lot in the first half, but once they got to the second half, the floodgates opened because they'd just gotten so much pressure on, and I think that's what Northern's really aiming for right now, is even if you don't score a whole ton of goals, you're just going to start wearing away at that defense, and eventually stuff's going to have to start going in.
You're absolutely right, Decker. The amount of shots you take, doesn't really matter how many shots you're taking. They're eventually going to start falling if you have this many opportunities. And like you had alluded to with the girls' field hockey game last year, it's kind of the exact same story where they had all the opportunities in the first half, weren't really able to put up very many goals. I think, matter of fact, they might have only put up 1 in the first half, kind of similar to what we have going on here. But they kind of picked up that same pace in the second half and were able to score, I think, 4, like you had said, and the floodgates opened and they never looked back. So hopefully we can get the same outcome here. Obviously a big matchup there as RV loses the ball. Northern's going to be able to get possession back as they're going to try and go down here and put up another goal.
And that looks like that is going to be a goal by Justin Ruffenach, second leading scorer on the team. And as I stated, he came into this game with 11 goals on the year. That'll be his 12th. And you guys called it. I mean, you just continue to put the pressure on the defense, and eventually one's bound to get in. And that was a great play there by Ruffenach. And as we stated earlier, we did quite a few games earlier this season. Northern TV records 2 varsity sports per season, but this year, guys, we really had our hands full. We did 7 in the fall, including that senior field hockey game that you spoke about. In the winter, we did 5 sporting events, and we've already done, now this will be our 3rd game of this spring season so early on. We did a baseball game just this past Monday. Kyle, you participated in that game as the Greyhounds defeated Cherry Hill East 5-2. We just came off an exciting volleyball win right before this game, and now we're here live as the Greyhounds take on the Red Devils in Lacrosse. And we actually are going to be on hand tomorrow, in fact, as the girls softball team, who have high expectations this year, look to play RV again. And that's going to be a goal by Mike Otto. Great play, Northern wasting no time, jumping on RV early, currently up 3-0 now early in this one.
Yes, so now floodgates are kind of opening. Northern having all those opportunities and continuing that pace on offense. They've now put up 2 in the past 30 seconds. So definitely something you like to see.
Yeah, and if you're RV, you know you have to start making some offensive waves now because you're already down 3-0. You don't want to let this deficit grow even larger. So they're going to be looking to put something up offensively, but Northern's been able to stifle every opportunity they've had and create more of their own.
And touching what you said on earlier, Mr. Dowd, about how I was part of the baseball game while you guys were broadcasting it, it was pretty cool to kind of see it from a different angle and watch, hopefully see that game and listen to you guys commentate it, but it is very good to be back here with you guys now.
And as a varsity athlete, Kyle, this will be your last season on the farm playing, but, how important is it for, seniors and senior leaders on the team to get, some big victories here in the spring season?
Oh, it's always definitely extremely important. As a senior, your number one goal here is just, and this goes for any grade level, I should say, is Northern puts up another goal there. Number 11, Jake Filor with a goal. So another great opportunity and another opportunity cashed in by the Hounds to go up 4-0 here on RV. But as I was saying, Mr. Dowd, the goal for everybody is just to win. And in your senior season, that's really all you want to do. You want to try and take it as far as you can and make history, get your name on a banner up in the gym and, set kind of the precedent for upcoming grades and for upcoming sports seasons to kind of look at that and realize that that's kind of the bar that's set, and they need to kind of achieve that in order to do what past teams have done.
Looks like RV's looking to regroup a little bit, looking to maybe break Northern's momentum. They have 3 goals now in the past few minutes and looking to keep their guys motivated here as they're down early 4-0. And we've seen some tremendous play by the Greyhounds. They got on the board with Dean Heminghaus, Justin Ruffenach, Mike Otto, and now Jake Filor getting on that one. And they're still fighting. They're up 4 goals, but they're fighting for every possession and fighting for every loose ball. And they're looking to get a big win here in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, they definitely are. But if you're Northern, you got to kind of keep in mind that RV's definitely not out of this game. It's always tightly contested when these teams play each other. And also, the way Northern's been on offense so far here in this first half, if the tides were to change and RV kind of gets like this in the second half, you've seen how fast Northern's put up 4 goals. This game could still be within reach for RV if they were able to kind of get on a little bit of a roll. If you're Northern, you're going to do everything in your power to prevent that. That's another great shot attempt on goal by the Hounds, but denied there by RV as that one's going to sail wide past the net.
Yeah, and this is the worst kind of 4-0 deficit RV can be in because these 4 goals by Northern have come from all different players, so you can't really just try to take one guy out of the game. You got to take all 4. And that's something that's going to be incredibly challenging, especially when there's other offensive threats that Northern has as well. And even adding to that is that RV hasn't been able to do anything offensively themselves. So even if you do manage to take out those weapons that Northern's had offensively this game, you have to come up with some sort of way to get yourself back in on the offense.
And I'm sure RV's looking to get the ball into the hands of Dan Myers. As I said, coming into this game, he leads the Red Devils in scoring with 13 on the season. And certainly plenty of lacrosse left to play here as Northern's going to get another shot attempt there. And that one's going to get deflected by the keeper there. And they're going to look to regroup.
So the end of the first quarter there with the Hounds up 4-0. And it really hasn't been a Northern RV game so far. You really always expect this to be back and forth with both teams scoring and, RV kind of keeping it closer than they have. But this is all Northern here in that first quarter with almost every shot on goal being taken by Northern. RV really had maybe 1 shot on goal, if I can remember correctly. So that 4-0 deficit that RV's in seems a heck of a lot bigger when they're not really getting any shots on goal.
So, Northern up in the lead, 4-0. You can hear the crowd is really fired up. We've got a great turnout here at the farm. community members, students, staff from both Northern and RV. As we said, these are sort of neighboring schools and a big rivalry, so you can hear the parents and the support for both teams on both sides of the ball really just cheering these teams on. And this game is far from over. I mean, we've got 3 more quarters left. Yeah, Northern's up 4-0, but as you said, Kyle, you can put up goals quickly in Lacrosse, and RV's still in this one. So I look to see this one to be a shootout, and hopefully Northern can continue to keep the pressure on the Red Devils and get a big win here today.
Yeah, all Northern has to do is keep up the momentum they've built in the first quarter, and they should be fine, because that 4-0 lead is not insurmountable, but it certainly goes a long way. When you're talking only after 1 quarter, it does a little bit to the mindset of the RV players, kind of makes it a little bit more tough mentally to get yourself back in when you're already in a big deficit after 1.
Yeah, definitely, Decker. You never want to put yourself in a 4-0 hole after the first quarter, but that's what RV's done here today, and they can't change that now, so they're going to have some sort of offensive momentum going here in the second quarter, as they are controlling the ball right now. And that did look like a shot on goal there, but it sails way past the net. So the Hounds will look to get the ball back here, still up 4-0, and try to be the aggressors. You never want to take your foot off that gas pedal. When you're up 4-0, you want to be up 8-0. You want to just keep doubling that and see what can happen.
Now you can keep up with all things Northern Lacrosse on Twitter, and you can keep up with all things Northern Athletics on Twitter at NBC_athletics, and that's run by our athletic director, Dr. Dan Uzaki. He does a great job keeping everybody plugged into all things Northern sports. And as I said, we're coming off a big victory earlier today. The boys volleyball team got a big win versus RV, and it looks like the lacrosse team, I'm sure they heard the news, and they're building on that success, and they're looking to get a big win as well. And as I stated, we have a huge game tomorrow as the girls softball team takes on RV, in which should be the 2 top teams in the BCSL this season. Northern looking to get some great play there from their senior Cameron Cassidy on softball, as well as a lot of their young talent. So I expect the softball team to do some really good things this season, and certainly boys lacrosse is doing a great job here today in front of our home crowd.
And that was a great save there by Northern's goalie, Hayden Lyon. Decker, you had said it earlier, he really hadn't had many opportunities to try and save the ball, but it's good to see that he's on his toes when RV finally does get a chance, keeping this at a 4-0 game.
Yeah, and that's part of why Northern's been just so effective this year defensively to start out the season, because goalie Hayden Lyon hasn't really let anything through. He's only given up about 6 goals per game, which is very good for lacrosse.
And it's really kind of seemed like this is Northern versus RV week. We've, volleyball earlier today, lacrosse here right now, and then tomorrow girls softball. So hopefully we can be victorious in all 3 of those games. We've already won the volleyball game earlier today, as we're looking to see if the lacrosse team here can feed off of that momentum. And so far they have, as RV does have another good scoring opportunity there, and they are going to score as number 11, Alex Everard, scores there for Rancocas Valley to make this a 4-1 game.
Yeah, and just as we were mentioning how well Northern's defense has played so far this game and this season, RV's going to put up 1 to try to get this game within 3. But Northern still got the lead. They still have the momentum, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to regroup after giving up that 1 goal.
So RV gets on the board, and this game far from over. Currently in the lead, 4-1 here. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forsini, Mr. Decker Morrow. We are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the RV Red Devils in a great varsity lacrosse matchup. And as we said, coming into this game, both these teams were playing really well. Northern was currently 4-2 on the season, and RV was 2-1. So 2 teams playing well. RV was averaging 14 goals per game this year, so they've gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, and they're giving up about 9. And Northern is scoring about 11 goals and giving up around 6. So we expected this one to be a shootout, and so far the Hounds are in the lead 4-1, but we've got a lot of lacrosse left to play in this one, and it looks like that's going to be a turnover by the Red Devils, and Northern's going to go on the attack here, looking to put 1 more up.
A great job there by the Hounds creating that turnover, as RV was starting to get a little bit more comfortable there in their offense. But the Hounds did a great job stealing the ball away there from RV, and now they're going to try and look to be aggressors on offense like they were in that entire first quarter. However, RV has controlled the ball here for much of the second quarter, as they're going to look to try and continue that here.
Yeah, certainly RV has done everything in their power this quarter to stop that Northern offense from the first quarter and start to generate some shots of their own. But it looks like Northern's got a shot on right now. It was a great save by RV's goalie, and they're just going to clear it away and get back to offense.
Yeah, I mean, Northern really came out as the aggressor in the first quarter, putting up 4 goals, but RV's fought back, and they've only put up 1, but they've certainly been a lot more aggressive here in the second quarter, and they're looking to get back into this one. And as I said, we've got a great turnout of family, friends, community members, students from both teams, both schools, on hand. You can hear the crowd cheering on both teams as RV looks to get back into this one, and Northern looks to get a big victory. And, you know, we've been talking a lot about sports, but obviously you can check out Northern TV for a lot of other exciting programming. We have numerous sporting events on there you can check out, but we also have our high school and middle school concerts, our Students of the Month. You can check out our flagship program, the Northern News. And that looks like that's going to be a goal from RV, Dan Myers. As we said, he was their leading goal scorer coming into this one with 13 goals, make that 14 on the season, and he looks to get RV right back into this one as they're closing the gap, currently down 4-2 here at the farm.
And if you're Northern, this is the last thing you want to see. You don't want their leading goal scorer to get going, and you don't want to give up any goals in general. Being up 4-0 in that first quarter, they looked really commanding and that they were going to take control of this game, but RV has completely flipped the switch so far here in the second quarter, putting up 2 straight goals and making this only a 4-2 game now. So if you're Northern, you really can't fall asleep. You got to make sure that you try and keep going and keep scoring goals and not letting up. And it's going to be important for Luca Clenzeres to try and win that faceoff. Looks like he has, and the Hounds are going to get possession back and hopefully try and push the ball here down the field and score another goal.
Yeah, all of a sudden, what looked to be an easy walk-away win for Northern has really kind of diminished, and it's now only a 2-score game. But this is kind of the game we expect out of a Northern RV game. Only 2 scores, really close, both teams into it, and it looks like we're going to get a quick timeout right now as Northern tries to regroup.
And that's a very strategic timeout there by Northern, looking to kill the momentum that RV's building, and certainly RV's looking to keep their players motivated. Northern's currently in the lead, 4-2, but as we said, goals can happen really quick in lacrosse, and we saw that in the first quarter, and now RV's put up 2 in a row. So the Greyhounds in the driver's seat, but don't want to let their foot off the gas pedal, so to speak, and they're looking to put a goal up here quick, try to get RV back on their heels.
Yeah, definitely going to look to try and get RV, like you said, Mr. Dowd, back on their heels to try and not let them put up another goal and to get within 1. You want to try and keep this lead as big as you can. So up 4-2 here, the Hounds got a 2-goal advantage. RV doing a very nice job here in the second quarter, I should say. You got to tip your hats off to them. They've controlled the ball and really done a nice job, not allowing Northern to get any possessions really going on offense. And Decker, maybe I spoke too soon earlier when I said that this really wasn't a typical Northern versus RV matchup when the Hounds were up 4-0, because RV is obviously clearly come in here ready to play here in this second quarter, and they've made this only now a 2-score game.
And that was a terrific save by RV, keeping that one from going in the net, as they're looking to clear it out and make some more offense, generate another goal, potentially try to get within 1. But yeah, certainly Northern's lead has really shrunk, and RV's found their way back into this game. But it looks like Northern's starting to figure it out now, as they've gotten a couple offensive opportunities in the last minute alone.
So Northern currently in the lead, 4-2. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forsini, Mr. Decker Morrow. We are here live at the farm as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the RV Red Devils, and that one's going to sneak past the goalie, and Thomas Breslin's going to get a goal there for Northern. Just as we stated, they needed to get back into this one, and it looks like they're going to be fortunate there with a little, let's say, lucky shot that went in, snuck past the goalie, and Northern's now up 5-2. But you know what? Luck and skill, they're very similar, especially on a varsity level like that. And, Northern was just fortunate to get that one in the goal, and I'm sure Breslin likes to put Northern up now by 3 goals.
That's absolutely huge there for the Hounds, not only to be up 3 goals now, but kind of killing RV's momentum. They had scored 2 unanswered goals, and now the Hounds come right back with one of their own to make this a 3-score game now, which is huge for their confidence and hopefully can take RV a little bit out of this game.
Yeah, and we're almost halfway through this game. Northern's had 5 goals by 5 different goal scorers. that's been really good. Showed their offense, showed their passing ability, and really showed that nobody on this team cares too much about who scores as long as they get the ball in the net, which is what you want to see out of your team.
And certainly the boys have been doing a great job, and they look like they're going to be on the attack once again, wasting no time. And that looks like that's going to be another goal for the Greyhounds. Jake Filor with his second on the day. Northern currently cruising now up 6-2. That we saw 2 goals there in about 30 seconds by the Greyhounds, and we saw that earlier in the first quarter. So they've really put the pressure now back on RV to get back into this one. Gotta love the senior leaders and the upperclassmen here really stepping up for Northern and getting the Hounds back on top.
Great goal scoring there by Jake Filor and Thomas Breslin to get this now back to a 4-score game. Kind of right back to square one for RV, where they were at the end of the first quarter, down 4 goals. And although they had a great start here to this second quarter, they find themselves in another 4-goal deficit.
And that's kind of demoralizing for that RV offense, as they worked so hard to get back into this game, get 2 goals up, and Northern just comes down the field and puts up 2 in 30 seconds to extend that lead back to 4. So all that work is kind of gone at this point, as Northern's back up to a 4-goal lead, 6-2.
But the Hounds are wasting no time, and they're back on the attack again, looking to put another goal back up on RV. And, you know, we've been talking a lot about the boys lacrosse team, obviously, but, you know, the girls lacrosse team has been playing pretty well this season as well, and they actually were successful last year as they got to the Group 3 tournament, and they finished their season 8-8, and they were led by players like Mackenzie Santucci, who paced the Greyhounds with 59 goals, and freshman Jessie Fell, who broke the 40-goal plateau with 42 goals of her own. So they're actually playing really well, and as are the boys, currently on top in this one in the second quarter, 6-2 versus RV. And obviously we wish the best of luck to all of our spring sports teams, but looks like that's going to be another goal by the Greyhounds. Jack Burke putting one up. Northern currently in the lead now, 7-2, and we've seen, 6 different goal scorers here today, guys, so very versatile attack, multifaceted attack there by the Greyhounds, and now they're cruising in this one up 7-2 here late in the second quarter.
And good for Jack Burke, as he's a freshman this year, actually. So for him to score in a huge game against RV, it's only going to fill him with confidence to give the Hounds a 5-goal advantage now. And you're right, Mr. Dowd, and Decker, you had said it earlier. When 6 guys have scored and there's 7 goals up for Northern, you're right, RV really can't take anybody out of this game. They can't really find one guy who's been leading this offense for the Hounds, as everybody's contributed.
Yeah, and how could you take anybody out of this game when as soon as you try to limit the goals scored by Jake Filor today, you see the freshman come out and get a goal. So pretty much everybody on this Northern team can score, and they're proving that in the early stages of this game. Already up 7-2 in what we thought was going to be a massive rivalry game. Instead, Northern has seemed to just take advantage of this game and have like control for all but maybe a couple minutes in this when RV put up those 2 goals.
Yeah, the Hounds were certainly cruising in the first quarter up 4-0, and RV came back here early in the second quarter putting up 2 quick goals, and it looked like this was going to be a real close game, at one point being 4-2, but Northern has really just gone on the attack of late with goals from Burke, Otto, Breslin, Filor with 2 goals. So they're up in this one 7-2, and obviously the Hounds got some great contributions from their leading goal scorers as well. Heminghaus, who put up his 17th goal in the season, that was early in the game, as well as Justin Ruffenach, who put up his 12th goal in the season. So everyone looking to contribute here in the Greyhounds, and they're still fighting for every loose ball, even though they're up by 5 goals. I know they don't want to take their foot off the gas here against RV in a great local matchup.
And a great job here by everybody on the Hounds to get this, it's a sign of a good team when your 4-goal deficit gets trimmed down to 2, and obviously it's easy for you to start hitting the panic button and realize that this is Northern versus RV and they have a great chance of coming back. But also, something that's kind of forgotten was a great move by the coaching staff to call a timeout when RV had drawn the within 2, and to kind of get the guys to regroup and go out there and let them understand that they still have a lead right now. They just got to keep doing what they were doing in the first quarter, and the Hounds have taken that and ran with it.
Yeah, and this is incredible to watch, because if you're Northern, you have a guy who's been scoring almost 3 goals a game, and he's only had to score 1 for this lead to be 7-2 right now, with all the other players contributing pretty solidly offensively early in this game. So even like the main weapons for Northern really haven't had to do a whole lot for Northern to extend a lead to 7-2.
Still plenty of lacrosse to play, though. We are late in the second quarter, but still an entire half, and we've seen that these teams are more than capable of putting up goals and putting up goals in a hurry. So Northern currently in the lead 7-2 as the first half is winding down here, second quarter coming to an end. But we still have an entire half of lacrosse left. But I'm sure the Greyhounds would love to put maybe 1 or 2 more goals up here before the end of the half and try to limit any opportunities that RV has to get back into this one to get a big win.
Absolutely, Mr. Dow. This game's certainly not over. A 5-goal deficit, but we've seen RV put up goals relatively quickly here in this game, but it's going to be important for the Hounds to get back on defense and make sure that it doesn't happen again. And Decker, kind of like what you had said earlier, when your leading goal scorers only had to put up 1 so far, it's awesome for him to see that other guys on this team can do the same job as him and make sure that in a big contested rivalry game they can still come out on top. As it looks like that one, maybe a crease violation there on RV. It looks like that's what's going to be the call, and they're going to say no goal.
So we're looking for the officials to gather here and make a ruling, and doesn't look like RV is going to get the goal there, and it looks like the penalty is going to be on them, and Northern's going to get possession. Now you can follow all this action on Northern TV. You can actually check us out on Twitter at Northern_TV. We're also on Comcast Channel 19, Verizon Channel 42. We're streaming on the web. We have our YouTube channel. And you can check out our app at appcatch.com to stay tuned to all things Northern TV, including DVD sales, program information, sponsorship opportunities, and much more. And certainly we have a lot more boys varsity lacrosse to play here as we are winding down the second quarter, Northern in the lead, 7-2. And again, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forsini, Mr. Decker Morrow, and we are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, in a great local matchup.
Yeah, and that last crease violation by RV was pretty blatant. And as you saw, their striker was pretty much right in the net when he took the shot. It looks like we have a Northern player down, but he got back up. He's looking a little shaken up in the last play, but he looks okay. But it looks like Northern's trying to regroup, still up 7-2, and trying to make something happen offensively to perhaps even strengthen this lead that they've already built.
Yeah, it's important for them to keep their foot on the gas pedal. We saw their goalie get trimmed down to 2 earlier in the second quarter when RV got a hot, and now Northern came right back and answered with 3 straight goals of their own.
And the talk so far in this first half, guys, has been the offense, and certainly they've done a tremendous job, getting up 7-2. But a lot of credit has to go to the defense as well, only holding the RV to 2 goals when they came in scoring or averaging double-digit goals per game. And obviously the coaching staff, I'm sure, has done their due diligence keeping this team motivated. And as you said, some strategic timeouts and just some great play all around has got the Greyhounds in this one up by 5 goals in the second quarter.
Just a good all-around team performance by the coaches and the players here for the Hounds. In a big game versus RV, this is the one you want. And up 7-2 right now. All's been going well for the Hounds.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of first half you dream of if you're Northern and the coaching staff, because you've been able to put up 7 goals and only give up 2. And it looks like you're going to be able to kind of just walk your way into an easy win so far. But you never know, that could change. RV's offense has shown flashes this game, and they've shown that they can score in bunches, which they did earlier with two goals in about 2 minutes. But yeah, so far this is exactly what Northern wanted to see coming out of the gates.
And this is a huge division game, as I stated. Last year Northern was 13-8, RV was 10-10, so kind of nipping at their heels, only a few games back. And getting a big win this early on in the season could mean the difference in the standings at the end of the season. Certainly a lot of lacrosse left to play in the season, and certainly a lot of lacrosse left to play here today. A whole entire half still to come, but you got to love the play here by the Greyhounds so far.
And it's important if you're the Hounds to realize that there still is an entire half left of this game to play. Obviously the first half's a great start, but it's not really how you start. It's obviously how you finish. And having a 5-goal advantage going into the second half would be a huge positive for the team, but obviously going to have to keep up that same pace here in the second half if they want to win this game.
So second quarter winding down, Greyhounds in the lead 7-2. Want to take this opportunity obviously to promote our upcoming Athletic Hall of Fame, which is coming up on April 21st, and that's going to be a great event. That's held annually at the Old York Country Club, and that's going to start at 6 p.m. And this year we've got some great inductees, including Anthony Calley, James Humble, Kerry Lee Williams, Michael Shaw, Coach Doug Daniels, the 1980 softball team, and an honorary inductee, Miss Michelle O'Neill, who's been doing a great job with our athletic department the past 40 years here at Northern. So just a great event, just a great community event. Come out, see some outstanding play, and that's going to wrap up the second quarter here as Northern in the lead at the end of the first half, 7-2. And we're going to pick back up here in the second half. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forstini and Mr. Decamaro. We are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds have a lead here over the RV Red Devils in a great boys lacrosse matchup. What are some of the things, guys, that stood out to you in the first half?
One of the things that stood out to me, Mr. Dowd, was although Northern put up 7 goals, they were put up by 6 different players. So that definitely helps the team, gets everybody a lot of confidence going around, and just getting a huge 5-goal lead over RV heading into the second half is always something that's ideal.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest takeaways from the first half is just how well Northern's defense played. RV is a team that's been scoring almost 14 goals a game to this point in the season, and to show up this well, only giving up 2 in the first half is a great sign for your defense and for your season to come.
And when you're playing RV, it's always almost feeling like it's a playoff game with that atmosphere and the intensity between both teams. So to have this great advantage right now, and like you said, Decker, to have the defense play as well as they have, it really sets this team up for later in the season.
And I know Coach Chris Kelleher and assistant coach Mr. Dave Rogers got to love the effort. As we said, they're coming off a really successful season last year, going 13-8. And you know, Northern jumped out to a quick lead in this one. They were up 4-0. They were led by leading scorers Gene Heminghaus and Justin Ruffenach. They were the first to get on the board, but RV rallied. You know, they closed the gap. It was 4-2 at one point in the second quarter, and they got a goal by Dan Myers, who was their leading scorer, and it looked like this one was going to be a shootout. But, you know, Northern kind of took a pause and regrouped a little bit, and they're on top of this one, 7-2. But as we've seen, both these teams more than capable of scoring in bunches, so I wouldn't rule RV out quite yet, but Northern's certainly in the driver's seat so far in this one.
Yeah, as shown earlier by RV, they can score goals in a flurry, as they did in the beginning of the second quarter when they were able to put up 2 quick ones. But hopefully Northern's stingy defense is going to be able to limit that here in the second half, and their offense, which has been on the attack for most of the start of this third quarter, looks like they're picking up right where they left off in the first half.
Yeah, and so far we've seen Northern's offense really take over this game at points where they've scored 2 and 3 goals in about 2-minute periods. So it's really been a couple huge stints for Northern's offense has really carried this game and gotten them up this 5-goal advantage so far, and they're looking to do the same in the second half.
Yeah, going to look to keep up that great play as Northern on the attack here again, looking to try and score a goal here. Although they had a very successful first half, they got to understand that obviously doesn't mean anything if they don't keep that same intensity up here in the second half. But this is a team that, like you said, Mr. Dowd, was very successful last year and has some great senior leadership, so I expect nothing less from this team than to come out in this second half and play just as well as they did in the beginning.
And the Hounds are going to have no rest. After this one, they've got a game just in 2 days. That's going to be on Friday, April 13th. That's going to be away at Holy Cross. So getting a big win here in front of the home crowd against a heated rival, you know, will go a lot as far as building confidence. Now, these two teams are going to square off again in just a couple weeks. Actually, they're going to be at RV, and that game's going to be May 3rd. So we'd love for our family, friends, students, parents, community members to come out and support the Greyhounds. And we got a great crowd here on hand from both teams. You can hear the crowd on both sides really getting revved up. So I look for this one to be close, even though Northern's sort of in the driver's seat right now.
And like you said, Mr. Dowd, with Northern having a game again in 2 days and not really having a lot of days off, when you're in a groove like this, sometimes that's what you want. You don't want those days off where you can kind of get relaxed and maybe lose focus a little bit when you finally have that game again. So playing in a stretch where you've got games day after day, it really helps your team build momentum and brings your team closer. It lets everybody get opportunities and certainly allows your team to kind of get into a groove and hopefully win some games in a row.
And we saw just from the start of this game how much of a groove Northern's offense was in, as well as their defense. And that's going to be another goal, this time by Nate Ruffenach. His brother Justin scored a goal earlier this game and make that an 8-2 lead for Northern now.
a great sign there is, like you said, Decker, Junior Nate Ruffenach scoring there. So both Ruffenach brothers have a goal here today against RV. And hopefully this team can keep building this momentum and start pulling away even more from RV.
Yeah, the Red Devils coach, Mr. Dave Haggerty's got to be a little down at this point, currently down 6 goals in the third quarter, but still plenty of lacrosse to play. And you can follow all of Northern lacrosse action on Twitter at NBC_boyslax. And you can follow all NBC sports on Twitter at NBC_athletics. And that's run by our athletic director, Dr. Dan Uzaki. Does a great job keeping everybody plugged in here at the farm. So Northern currently cruising in this one, up 8-2. They were 4-2 going in to this game on the season, averaging 11 goals per game, and they look like they are going to surpass that. And they were giving up about 6 goals per game. So a credit to the defense, who's really been doing a great job holding the Red Devils. And that looks like another score there by Mike Otto, his second on the day. And Northern now up 9-2 in this one. They're wasting no time. A couple of goals there in a hurry.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job in this second half, keeping the same intensity up that they had and really keeping their foot on the gas pedal here and not letting RV breathe. And now down 7 goals, RV's got an even bigger hole to try and come back from.
And this is just the start Northern wanted, putting up 2 quick goals just like they had done late in the first quarter and also midway through the second quarter. Now this is the third time this game Northern's gotten a set of goals in a flurry, and they just look to extend the lead even further now that they're already up by 7.
And this is a really clutch start to the second half because once the first half ends and you get a little bit of a break before the second half starts, you never know how either teams are going to react. Maybe RV would have come out on fire and really threatening to try and score more goals to get back in this game, but Northern just picks up right where they left off here in this first half, which is a great sight.
And as we stated earlier in the first half, these two teams, they played each other really tough last year. They both won and lost a game against each other, and both those games were 1-goal games. And RV was coming into this game. They were averaging 14 goals per game. They were giving up about 9, so we expected the Greyhounds to be able to score, but we also thought the offense of RV was going to come and really make this one a shootout. But the defense is doing a great job here for the Greyhounds. RV, as I stated earlier, was 10-10 last year, so they were highly competitive. And again, Northern was 13-8. They won the division, but only a couple of games separated these two teams. But Northern certainly cruising in this one, currently up 9-2 in the third quarter.
Yeah, like you said, Mr. Dowd, they played each other close last year, so coming into this game, I'm sure RV had no intention of this game being kind of as big of a margin as it is right now. Still plenty of time left, though, and I'm sure Northern understands that now RV's kind of got the ball down in Northern's territory, looking to try and score a goal here. But I'm sure Northern's defense, which has been great all game, as Decker had pointed out earlier, is going to rise to the challenge.
And speaking of defenses, I don't know if it's a bigger letdown that RV's defense hasn't shown up, or it's just a product of Northern's terrific offense that Northern's been able to pull away and already get to 9 goals. Like we had just said, this is already RV's average goals allowed for the season, with giving up 9 already. So I'm starting to think that maybe RV's defense just didn't show up like they were supposed to this game.
Still plenty of time left in this one, but Northern's certainly cruising and in the driver's seat, up 9-2. I would look for them to get the ball in the hands of their leading scorers, Dean Heminghaus, Justin Ruffenach. They've also gotten some really great contributions from players like Mike Otto, Jake Filor, and Nate Ruffenach, as well as a few others who have scored goals here for the Greyhounds. So Northern currently in the lead. It's the third quarter. They're up 9-2. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forsini, Mr. Decamaro. We are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the RV Red Devils in a really great local matchup. As I stated earlier, both these teams were highly competitive last year. Red Devils 10-10, Northern 13-8, so only a couple games separated the two. And they played each other really tough last year. They both got wins versus each other, so they were 1-1. And both those games were 1-goal games. And even though this one's 9-2 and Northern's in the lead, we saw RV could close the gap really quickly. The Greyhounds led this one 4-0 in the first quarter. RV stormed back and made it 4-2 early in the second. And it looked like really the game could go either way, but the Greyhounds have really fought back, and they're currently on a 5-0 run here in the third quarter. And as you guys stated, really just contributions from everyone on the offensive end and the defensive end, and great goalkeeping by the Greyhounds. And they're looking to put another one here on the board. Hopefully go up 10-2. And that one's just going to get deflected by RV. A great save. But Northern with possession. Still looking to make a big play here. And that's going to do it. Tom Breslin with another goal, his second on the day. Gotta love the multifaceted attack the Greyhounds have had. So now in the lead 10-2. And again, you can keep up with boys lacrosse on Twitter at NBC_BoysLax. You can keep up with all NBC sports on Twitter at NBC_athletics. And that's run by our athletic director, Dr. Dan Uzaki. He does a great job keeping everybody plugged in to all things Northern sports. You can also check out Northern TV on Comcast Channel 19, Verizon Channel 42. We're streaming on the web. You can download our app at appcatch.com. And you can email us at northerntv@nburlington.com with any questions on DVD sales, program information, sponsorship opportunities, and much more. And we've got a lot of exciting action still left here in this one. And certainly a lot of exciting things going on here at the farm, not just athletically, but we have a lot of exciting events such as our middle school and high school winter spring band and chorus concerts, our annual Greyhound Choice at the high school, and our annual Greyhound Gala at the middle school. We have our Scholars Night going on at the Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, which honors our academically high-achieving students in all of our departments, as well as our Senior Awards and Graduation 2018, which will be on Friday, June 22nd, here at the farm. So we look forward to seeing all our friends, families, and community members, and certainly a lot of the seniors here on this team will be graduating and moving on to really exciting things. Northern's cruising in this one up 10-2, and plenty of time left to play, but the Greyhounds looking to get a big win in front of our home crowd. Certainly a lot of game action left to play in this one, and a lot of exciting spring sports here at the farm. As we look at our teams, got some really successful teams going on this season. Softball team's currently 3-0. They recently defeated Hun 1-0 in a nail-biter, and they've got a really close, contentious game tomorrow versus RV, which should be a really great matchup. So we'd love for our friends, family, community members to come out, turn out to that one. Boys tennis team's currently 1-0, and they've got a game later today. Boys tennis team taking on Pemberton today, so hopefully we can get a win there. Girls lacrosse team's playing pretty well as well this season. They're 3-2. They've got a big game tomorrow, so we'd like for our friends, families, community members to come out and support the Lady Hounds as they take on West Windsor Plainsboro. Boys baseball team 1-1, lost a close game in their opener 3-2, and actually got a big win earlier this week versus Cherry Hill East, a really good team. They won that one 5-2. Northern TV was on hand for that. Volleyball, as we stated, was the first game of our sports doubleheader today, and that's going to be a goal for the Greyhounds. Justin Ruffenach scoring again. Great job. Hounds currently winning 11-2. But as I was saying, boys volleyball, big win today versus RV. Really tough 3-set match. Could have gone either way, but the Greyhounds pulled that one up and advanced their record to 3-4 on the season. And the winner and the spring track team, currently 1-0, had a big win versus Willingboro, and that game was back on April 10th. And the Greyhounds are certainly looking to get a big win here today against the Red Devils here. So Hounds up in this one, big 11-2. Game far from over, still in the third quarter here. And as we've seen, both these teams can score goals in bunches. Northern's currently on a 7-0 run as far as goals scored, and they're still fighting for every loose ball and every possession. They're doing a great job here. Even diving for a loose ball there, up almost 10 goals. That says a lot about the players and the hustle and the passion they have for the game. So it looks like that one went out of bounds. The team's going to regroup. Maybe get a quick sub here or there. And the Greyhounds are going to be back on the attack, looking to go up 12-2 and really put the Red Devils on their heels. And still plenty of time left in this one, so they can't let up. And they certainly haven't here in the past two quarters. As I stated, it was really close, 4-2 early in the second quarter, and the Greyhounds have really just put their foot to the pedal, so to speak, gone on a 7-goal run. And that almost looked like another one, but a great deflection there by the Red Devils. And both teams still fighting for the ball. here in the third quarter. So both teams still playing highly aggressive. And Northern looking to retain possession and hopefully go up 12-2 in this one. And as I stated earlier, lots of exciting sports action, lots of exciting events academically here at the farm coming up. And you know, we have a very special event still coming. That's going to be next month. That is our annual Relay for Life event. And that has 2 meetings remaining, April 24th and May 10th. Those meetings are 6 p.m. at the Media Center. And then the event itself is May 19th here at Northern. And that is a really exciting night to help raise money for those battling cancer. And last year we had a really great turnout for that event, and we'd welcome any new participants and teams for that great turnout of students, staff, families, community members on hand, showing support for that great event. And again, that Relay for Life event is May 19th here at the farm. And that's going to be another goal by the Greyhounds. Jack Burke weaving through traffic, finding the opening, scoring. Hounds currently up 12-2 in this one here in the third quarter, and he was really excited, and it looked like a little disappointment there for the Red Devils as they were trying to get back into this one, and certainly being down 10 goals is not ideal, but they're still fighting, and that says a lot about them, their coaching staff, their players, and we still have plenty of lacrosse here to play. We're here in the third quarter, and we still have an entire quarter left. Not that I foresee the Greyhounds giving up 10 goals, but they're currently on an 8-goal-0 run, so certainly more than possible. So you never want to let your opponent get back in. And at some point, I would expect to see some younger players getting in as well and getting some key playing time as this program looks to continue to grow. As I stated, had a really successful season last year, 13-8, one of the top teams at BCSL, and advanced to the state playoffs, and this team is no different. With a win today, the Greyhounds would go to 5-2 on the season, and the Red Devils would fall to 2-2. Great save there by Northern. So we're looking to clear the zone here. Maybe put one more back up on the board before the end of the third quarter. You never know. They were up 4-0 at the end of the first quarter. RV closed the gap 4-2 early in the second. Greyhounds went on a 3-goal run to end the second. Went into this quarter up 7-2, and now have been on a 5-goal run here in the third. And really just have RV guessing. I mean, the offense is doing a great job. Credit to the defense as well and the goalkeeping. And it's really been just contributions from everyone. You know, we just saw Jack Burke score. We saw Justin Ruffenach, Mike Otto. Obviously, Dean Heminghaus, who was our leading goal scorer, got in early in the action. So Jake Filor put a goal in. So really the Red Devils have had no answer for the Greyhounds. And if it hasn't been one outstanding offensive player, it's been another. And as I stated, I look forward to seeing some younger guys getting in here too, as the Greyhounds have a 10-goal lead here in the third. You know, looking to build confidence for those guys, looking to help them as they advance their lacrosse careers. And that's going to be another shot on goal. That one's going to get deflected by the defense and scooped up by the Red Devils, looking to clear the zone here in the third quarter. As I stated, lots of ways to stay plugged in, lots of ways to watch athletics. And that's going to do it for the third quarter, as Northern's currently in the lead, 12-2. Still have an entire quarter left to play, but Hounds playing really well. And again, for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd, joined by broadcasting students Mr. Kyle Forsini, Mr. Decker Morrow. We are here live at the farm. It is Wednesday, April 11th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the RV Red Devils. And what was really a close matchup early on, as I stated, Northern was up 4-2 early in the second and have really played some outstanding lacrosse there, ending the second on a 3-goal run, going into halftime up 7-2, and then putting in 5 goals in the third quarter, and just really putting RV back on their heels. Now they're currently up 12-2. Still an entire quarter left to play, but certainly a 10-goal deficit is never anything you want to go into a final quarter of a game doing. But the Hounds don't want to let up, because as I stated earlier, these two teams really played each other tough last year, each winning a game, and both games decided by 1 goal. So credit to the Greyhounds. They came out here on the attack today, playing highly aggressive, and credit to Coach Kelleher and assistant coach Mr. Dave Rogers, really getting this team fired up. And our seniors on the team doing a great job. Dean Heminghaus, Justin Ruffenach, Jake Filor. We got some contributions from some juniors, sophomores as well. And the Greyhounds are just really playing outstanding lacrosse here today. And as I stated, our girls lacrosse team is having a good season as well. And they'll be here on the field tomorrow. So I'd love for our family, friends, and community members to come out. And Northern TV will be on the farm tomorrow as well, as the girls softball team takes on RV. And what's really been almost a rivalry week here at the farm. We just defeated RV in volleyball earlier today. That was the first game of our sports doubleheader. Won that one in 3 sets. Boys lacrosse cruising in this one, up 12-2 against RV. And tomorrow, which should be one of the best games in the county, Northern lady softball team will take on the Red Devils in what will be a really exciting game. Those two teams were 1 and 2 in the BCSL respectively. RV winning it last year, going 20-4, and the Lady Hounds going 19-5. Actually, losing to RV was the game that actually cost the Lady Hounds the division championship last year. So I know they've got a lot on their mind. They're looking to get a big win, not just against the division winner, and that's going to be a goal for the Greyhounds. Dean Heminghaus again, outstanding play, leading goal scorer for the Hounds. He's having a tremendous season. Came into this game leading all players, and now just adds another one as Northern's up 13-2 in this one. But as I was stating, RV Northern will continue tomorrow as the girls softball team led by head coach Mr. Brian Wolverton looks to get a big game in versus the Red Devils of RV. So we look forward to all of our family, friends, community members to come out and support the Lady Hounds. I think first pitch is about 4 p.m., weather permitting, of course. But, it's really been a windy day here at the farm, speaking of weather, and a little unseasonably cool, but our boys have heated up, and they're currently cruising in this one up 13-2 with almost an entire quarter to play. But you love to see a player like Dean Heminghaus, team captain, come out here, put one on early in the fourth quarter just to let RV know that, Northern's not going to let up. And even though they were up by 10 goals, they're going to continue to attack and fight and try to get as many goals as they can today and let RV know that they're a team to be reckoned with this season.
So with the big lead here, the Hounds, an 11-goal advantage right now. Certainly, like we had pointed out earlier, not what RV was expecting coming into this game, but the Hounds doing a fantastic job just pouring in goals and not really letting RV get a chance to get back into this one. And the Hounds still trying to get their momentum going and keeping the ball on offense here and really trying to not let RV have any chance of coming back.
Also want to update our viewers with some other scores here from the farm tonight. As we said, this is the second game in our Northern Sports doubleheader, and it looks like the Greyhounds are going to get a big win. We're just coming off a 3-game set in boys volleyball where the Greyhounds were victorious versus RV in that one. The boys golf team got a win today versus Burlington Township in a close matchup, 172-176. Boys tennis beat Pemberton 5-0. The baseball team is currently away in Haddonfield. That game's going on, so I don't know if that one's going to get the score in before the end of this game, but certainly we wish them the best of luck, and that's going to be a great game for those boys as well. Also want to let our viewers know that the last home game of the season for the boys lacrosse team is Saturday, May 12th. That is going to be at 11 a.m. versus Lower Cape May Regional. So if anybody wants to come out, help support the boys, that'll be their last game of the season before the NJSIA playoffs, which start on Monday, May 14th. And it looks like if Northern can build on this game and certainly their successful season from last year, they'll be back in the playoffs again, hoping to compete for a title.
Yeah, and especially if they can keep this pace up, Mr. Dowd, they'll definitely have a great chance at the playoffs and hopefully going far. And they had a good run last year and had a very successful season last year. And with a game like this against RV, it's only going to build their confidence.
Yeah, certainly. I don't see how this could be anything but a confidence builder if you're Northern, as you're up 11 goals, and this game is basically over. It's just a formality at this point. You don't really expect you can lose, but this is a great momentum point for the rest of the season, as you're really taking it to a rival who you played close twice last year, and I think this can do nothing but good for Northern's team.
While we have a break in the game action, just want to remind our viewers once again that in 10 days, on Saturday, April 21st, at the Old York Country Club will be our annual Athletic Hall of Fame. It's going to be starting at 6 p.m., and we've got some great inductees this year, including athletes Anthony Calley, James Humble, Kerry Lee Williams, Michael Shaw, Coach Doug Daniels, the 1980 softball team, as well as honorary member Miss Michelle O'Neill, who's done a great job for our athletic department. So we'd love for our community members, our staff members, to come out and support. That's always a great night at the Old York Country Club, held annually. And we're going to get back into the game action here with Northern in the lead, 13-2, looking to pull off a big win. Also want to take this time to thank our Northern TV crew, our facilities department, our athletic department, our teachers and staff, and certainly Mr. Pona, our other video production teacher. Want to also thank our camera operators, Marissa and Angela Malinowski, and Miss Amna Ahmed for their work. Want to thank our intern, Andrew Baez, and certainly you guys, Kyle and Decker, for your outstanding commentary. This will be my 54th game, and we're going to be doing my 55th game tomorrow. We'll be on hand as Northern takes on RV in softball, which should be a really great game, and we expect a great turnout for that one. That's going to be at 4 p.m. on Thursday, April 12th, so we'd love for people to come out and help support the Greyhounds. But, the Greyhounds still on the attack here, even though they're up by 11 goals, still fighting for every loose ball and still trying to continue to put the heat on RV.
We like to point out that Northern and RV games for any sport are always highly contested, and oftentimes that is the case, but the Hounds team today really just took it to them, and like Decker had said earlier, it should just be a mere formality at this point with an 11-goal advantage here. Obviously, nothing's ever certain, and it's not over till it's over, but a great performance here by the boys team today, and hopefully they can keep this advantage where it's at right now and can get a W today.
Yeah, and even if you let RV get a goal or two at the end of this game, it's not all that bad. You still got a huge advantage in this one, and it doesn't really matter that much. All that matters is you got the win, and you really showed your strength, and you showed that you can really take it to teams that last year you were really close to. So I think this shows big improvements from Northern, that they were able to take an 11-goal lead against a team they practically tied in their 2 matches last year. And I think this is just going to be great for the future.
Yeah, that's a great point, Decker, that a team that you really played close with last year, it just kind of shows you how much better your team might have gotten. With Northern, like you had said, almost tying them in the scores last year and now having an 11-goal advantage, it really shows the growth as a team and that there should be a lot more optimism for this year.
And as we stated earlier, you look at the scoreboard, and a credit to the offense because they've done a great job, and they've gotten contributions from a half a dozen players today, if not more, scoring goals. But it's really been the defense as well, at the backbone, as well as the goalkeeping here in this game. And I know Coach Kelleher and assistant coach Mr. Dave Rogers have to love that effort. And like you said, getting a big win versus a heated rival like this that you were so close to last year can only help continue to boost your confidence as the season progresses.
So the Hounds here just trying to hold off RV here from scoring. And RV is going to score a goal there, looks like, to make this game 13-3. It looks like that was a goal, but no reaction here from the referees. We'll see what the call is. So far, it looks like that goal might be getting waved off. Might have been a crease violation there again. So still an 11-goal advantage here for the Hounds. And as the time is going to wind down here, hopefully the Hounds can just keep grinding this one out.
And you got to be disappointed if you're RV. I mean, you're down 11 goals, and even though that wouldn't have put you in the lead per se, that would have been, just something you could have rode on for next game. And to get a crease violation, I think that's the second we've seen so far this game. And they're playing aggressive, and that's going to be a goal now for the Red Devils. That's Eric Turkheimer, number 15, scoring that one, and that's going to make this 13-3 now. As we said, the game is not quite over, but Northern's certainly cruising in this one and looking to get a big win with about 10 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter.
It's nice when you can give up a goal and still know you have a 10-goal cushion, so definitely not time for the Hounds to panic whatsoever, but obviously you want to stay sharp going into your next few games, so it's going to be important for them to keep their offense on the attack and tighten up their defense here as the game winds down.
Yeah, I think maybe the best aspect of Northern's defense this game hasn't necessarily been the goalkeeping, but I think it's been ball control. and that Northern has pretty much had control of the ball the entire game. I can't remember that many times where RV had the ball for extended periods of time, and Northern was the one having to play a ton of defense. And when you don't have to play defensively that much, it just makes you all that much stronger when you're back there and you actually have to deal with pressure.
And if you're RV Decker and you're on defense for the entire game, sometimes that obviously hurts your offense when you're not really used to being in the flow of having the ball down in Northern's end and trying to score a goal. So it's been a great job by the Hounds just pushing the ball down the field every time they've had it and playing some stingy defense when RV's had their opportunities.
And the Greyhounds are still in the attack. I wouldn't be surprised if they put another goal on the board before the end of the game here. Looks like we're going to get a foul here on the field. That looks like it's going to be against RV, and Northern will retain possession. But, both these teams, a credit to both coaches. Northern's going to get the W today, but, RV fought hard, and certainly Northern never let their foot off the gas pedal. As I said earlier, this game was close in the second quarter. It was 4-2. It looked like it could go either way. But Northern certainly stepped it up a notch here and cruising for a big win, up 13-3 in the fourth quarter, with the possibility of maybe putting even another goal up here before the game ends.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, you want your offense to stay sharp going into your next few games and keep getting them some good reps. So lead's really never big enough for Northern, especially against RV. You want to make sure that you get this win here today. So I wouldn't be surprised, Mr. Dowd, if they do end up trying to put up another goal.
And, I mean, there's no reason not to. At this point, Northern's got in some of their reserves, and they're trying to get some of the future a little bit more play time, trying to see what they can do. And especially if you're one of these kids who's coming in right now who doesn't play a whole lot, this is where you really want to score and try to show that you can be an asset to the team in the future, especially next year or the season after if you're one of these younger kids.
Absolutely, Decker. You want to prove your worth to these coaches and this team, and when it's in a game against RV, it's even bigger. That although they're reserves, they're still playing against one of the biggest rivals for Northern. So it'll be interesting to see how the Hounds try and move the ball here late in this game.
And also just want to remind our viewers that you can follow Northern TV on Twitter at Northern_TV. We're also on Comcast Channel 19, Verizon Channel 42. We're streaming on the web, so lots of ways to stay plugged into our outstanding sports productions. You can also check us out on YouTube at your convenience. Watch any of our outstanding games. We did quite a few this fall as well as this winter, and we look forward to doing another exciting game. And again, that game is tomorrow, as the Red Devils will play the Greyhounds in softball, and which will really be a great game. And lots of ways to stay plugged in here at the farm. So Northern cruising in this one up 13-3. Winding this one down with a little more than 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. But gotta love to play. The Greyhounds came out here with a game plan, and it looked like it was going to be really close, but their offense really came to play today. And you gotta love the fact that the Hounds are going to get a win, a big win, and certainly 10 goals is a great game.
And it's certainly nice to have a big lead like this for basically the entire game. They came out hot and took that 4-goal advantage, and then RV was able to claw back to within 2. But then the Hounds really just took over after that. And not all games are going to be like that. There's obviously going to be some really close games, but you got to take advantage of the games where you have big leads like this just to make sure you like that feeling, and you know that every time you step out there on the field that you want to have a game like this where you can just be cruising for basically most of the entire second half.
It's pretty rare you see a team get an 11-1 goal run in any game, but this is what we've seen today, as Northern scored 11 unanswered, starting with when they were up 4-2, and then RV put one in to make it 13-3 now. So it's certainly rare to see a team get an 11-1 run, and you're seeing Northern taking the biggest advantage of it as they can. They're resting some of the players. They're going to have to play more in the upcoming days. But I think this is just a huge game for Northern to be able to come out and take down an opponent that they played close. And it just shows how good they are and how good the future is for Northern.
And guys, we've actually done a really great job this year, I think, from the Northern TV sports perspective, of doing a variety of games. I think this is the first boys lacrosse game that the three of us have ever done. We did a girls lacrosse game, perhaps last year, maybe even the year before. We did football, field hockey, boys and girls soccer, boys and girls basketball, and we look to do softball again tomorrow. So we've really had our hands full, and we've been on the winning end of a lot of those games, and we've been very fortunate that we have been so successful, and we look forward to doing that. Tomorrow may be our last game together, pending any championship runs by teams, but it's really been a pleasure to do this with you guys. And Northern's looking to get another big win here, and we hope for another one tomorrow versus the Red Devils here at the farm.
You're definitely right, Mr. Dowd. It's certainly been a pleasure doing this with you guys for as long as we have, and doing all the sports we've done. It's really been a lot of fun to kind of learn a lot about all the sports we've done and just kind of figure out all the little nuances of every sporting event. And that looks like that's going to be another goal there for the Hounds. Justin Ruffenach with his second on the day. So now taking another 11-goal advantage here. Definitely huge for the Hounds' confidence, and great for the senior Justin Ruffenach to get on the board once again.
Yeah, and that's going to just extend the lead even further. At this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that Northern's got the game, and it's going to probably finish pretty close to what they have now. RV or Northern may put up one or two more, but the game's looking like it's pretty much set at this point, and I think it's safe to say that Northern's going to win this one.
That'll be Ruffenach's 13th goal on the season, and it was great to see his brother Nate Ruffenach also get a goal today. Dean Heminghaus led the way here with the Greyhounds. He was the first one to get on the board, and he's enhanced his scoring total to 17 on the season. So we wish everyone the best of luck. And, of course, with this game coming to an end, the season is far from over, as we are only in mid to early April. And as we stated, the last game for the Greyhounds will be May 12th here at the farm. So we have an entire month left of season to play for all of our teams. And we wish all of them the best of luck here as the Greyhounds looking to get a big win versus a heated rival here at the farm.
Looking for another successful spring sports season, and the boys lacrosse team certainly doing their part today and picking apart RV's defense for this entire game.
Yeah, they've been a mismatch offensively throughout this whole match, and I'm pretty sure RV just came in and they didn't really just know how to handle this Northern offense. And how could you when pretty much everybody on the team can score, as we've seen a variety of goal scorers today for Northern, which has really been what's carried them all the way to this 14-3 advantage they have right now.
Yeah, it certainly sends a message to other teams that Northern's not a one, player team. That they've got 6 guys that were on display today that can all score. So it certainly can intimidate other teams when they're going to play like that. And the score itself should show how intimidating this team can be when they're really all playing together.
So Northern still on the attack. That was a great save there by the Red Devils. Still on the attack, up 14-3. Just a few minutes left here as this one winds down. Greyhounds looking to get a big win here, enhance their win total to 5-2 on the season, and they're going to go into their next game, as we said, in just a couple days versus Holy Cross, averaging now about 12 goals a game and giving up about 5. So stay on the lookout for the Greyhounds as they continue their successful season here and look to win another BCSL championship.
And for the amount of times that Northern's been on offense this game with the ball down on RV's side of the field and threatening to score, this game could be a little bit more than an 11-goal advantage if Northern was able to capitalize just a little bit more. And I'm sure they're not thinking about that right now, and they shouldn't be with this huge lead against RV. This has been a great game all around, but really been a struggle today for RV with just trying to maintain possession on offense, and really they haven't played well on defense today. So Northern's just done an exceptional job on both sides of the ball, picking apart their arch rival.
And for a second there, it looked like Northern was just going to carry the ball out and end the game, but RV's trying to make the last second push to maybe get on the board one more time for pride or for whatever, but that's going to be a shot, and it's going to go a little bit wide, and that's probably going to be their last real attempt at the game, as we're winding this one down with only about 20 seconds left in the match.
Yeah, RV still, like you said, Decker, trying to play for some pride and score a goal here, get somebody a little stat padding to try and bring this to within 10, but like you said, with about, half a minute left in this game, there's no shot that RV can come back.
And that one is also going to sail wide. I want to tip our caps to the coaching staff of the Greyhounds. Certainly did an outstanding job. Coach Kelleher obviously came in here with a game plan, and the Hounds executed as they're going to get a big win. And I know assistant coach Mr. Dave Rogers has to love the effort as well. As we said, the Hounds were coming off a really successful 13-8 season last year, one of the division leaders, and they are going to bump their record to 5-2 with this win here today, with another game on the docket, just 2 days away. So congratulations to the Greyhounds getting a big win here in front of our home crowd, as time is winding down in this one.
Northern's just trying to clear the ball on RV side of the field, and it looks like that's going to do it. So the Hounds with a huge 14-3 victory today versus RV.
So congratulations to the boys for all of us here at Northern TV. On behalf of Decamaro, Mr. Kyle Forsini, I'm Mr. James Dowd signing off.